We often think that a man's silence is a sign that he no longer cares. But in reality, it might be the moment he needs space to think, to process his deep emotions. So, what do when he goes silent? Do you chase after him? Or do you hold firm to your self-belief? This video will reveal why his silence isn't the end, but an opportunity for you to assert your own worth. It's about understanding that sometimes strength is found in stillness, a kind of quiet resilience that someone like Keanu Reeves embodies. If you're feeling uncertain, don't rush. Hold on to your self-respect and pay attention to his actions rather than just his words. Let's dive deeper and uncover the important lessons in this relationship. Don't forget to like, share, and follow so you don't miss any future videos. Silence, it's one of the most frustrating things when you're dealing with a man you care about. One day, he's there, chatting, responding, even actively reaching out to you. But then, suddenly, everything goes quiet. No texts, no calls, just a suffocating silence. And the first thing that comes to your mind is, what did I do wrong? When a man pulls away like that, your instinct is to immediately figure out why, to search for answers. You'll scroll through old messages, trying to find clues. You'll replay your conversations, wondering if you accidentally said something that made him start pulling away. But what if I told you that the silence wasn't because of something you did, but rather because of him? Men and women process emotions differently. When a woman feels confused, anxious, or sad, the first thing she does is talk about it. She calls her friends, shares her feelings, seeks connection because for her, connection is the way to clarity. Men, on the other hand, do the opposite. When something causes them anxiety, whether it's work, personal doubts, or even their own intense emotions, their instinct is to withdraw. They retreat to think, not because they don't care, not because they don't like you anymore, but because isolation is how they find clarity. I know what you're thinking. If he likes me, why not just say it? Why not keep the connection? And here's where it gets confusing. A man's emotions and his actions don't always align. He might really like you. His feelings might be growing deeper, but when those feelings start surfacing strongly, pushing him to confront deeper fears about his own readiness or emotional limits, that's when he might pull away. Think of it this way. A man is like a rubber band. When he feels stretched, whether it's from the pressure of expectations, the need for independence, or a fear of being tied down too soon, he'll stretch. But here's where it gets interesting. If you resist that space, if you try to chase him while he's pulling away, that's when the rubber band snaps. The harder you push, the further he'll retreat. But if you relax, if you let go and give him space, most of the time, the rubber band will snap back towards you. Because after having time to think, he realizes something: he misses you. He truly misses you. And this is where many women make a huge mistake. They see a man pulling away, and instead of relying on their own strength and confidence, they panic. They text, call, demand explanations. But the moment you start chasing a man when he's retreating, you've already lost the upper hand. The dynamic has shifted. Instead of him realizing he needs to come forward and pursue you, he now feels like you're the one who needs reassurance. If a man feels like he's being pulled rather than being attracted, the attraction fades. So, when a man goes silent, what should you do? The answer is simple: match his energy. If he pulls back, you pull back. If he's silent, you stay even quieter. Not to play games or manipulate, but because you understand your worth. You know that a man who truly cares won't risk losing you. There's a key moment when a man realizes you're no longer waiting for him. When he looks at his phone and sees you haven't sent a flood of texts. When he wonders what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're so calm about it. That's when the power shifts, because that's the moment everything changes. He realizes that if he wants you, he has to take action, pursue you. And the best part is, when a man comes back after the silence, it's not just because he missed you. It's because something has shifted in him. He starts to feel your absence, wondering why he let go of a woman who brought so much value to his life. That's the difference. A man will never pursue something he doesn't feel he's at risk of losing. So, when he comes back, and I'm sure he will, you need to ask yourself one question. Is he coming back because he truly values me, or is he just checking to see if I'm still available? Because a man who's truly ready for you won't just come back. He will prove himself with consistency, with action. When you try to prevent the distance between you two, when you keep chasing him as he pulls away, it's like stretching a rubber band. Every time you push, he pulls back. But if you let go of that tension, if you stop clinging and give him space, you'll realize something magical most of the time. That rubber band will snap right back to you. And that's when he realizes something important. He misses you. He misses your presence in his life. He can't ignore the absence of you anymore. However, this is a mistake that many women make. When they see the man they love beginning to pull away, instead of staying calm, confident, and steady, they panic. They don't know what to do except to send texts, make calls, and demand an explanation. But when you start chasing after a man who's trying to distance himself, you've already lost control. The game has completely changed. Instead of him realizing your absence and finding a way to reconnect with you, he starts to feel like you're the one who needs comfort, who needs him more. This diminishes the attraction you once had for him. So, what should you do when a man goes silent? The answer is simple. You just need to respond in tune with his energy. If he starts pulling back, you keep your distance. If he's silent, you should be even more silent. This isn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's because you understand your own worth. You know that a man who truly loves you will never risk losing you. There's a crucial moment when a man realizes this. When he looks at his phone and sees that you're not texting or calling him like you used to. When he starts to wonder what you're doing, with whom, and why you're so calm. That's when true power emerges. He begins to realize that if he wants you, he has to make the effort. He has to find a way to pursue you again. And the best part is, when a man comes back after silence, it's not just because he misses you, but because something has changed within him. He starts to feel your absence and wonders why he let go of a woman as valuable as you. And that's the difference. A man will never pursue something he doesn't feel he's losing. When he comes back, you need to ask yourself one question. Is he coming back because he truly values me? Or is he just checking to see if I'm still available to him? Because a man who is truly ready for you won't just return. He'll prove his commitment and determination through action and consistency. We all know that in life, sometimes we don't realize the value of something until we lose it. It's just like when you're part of someone's life, and the moment you pull away, they suddenly realize how much they took your presence for granted. At first, he may not have noticed how important you were, but the moment he feels you're truly walking away, he gets scared. Not just because he misses you, but because he realizes something even more frightening. Someone else might be taking the place he once considered a given. And this is where most women make a mistake. When he suddenly reaches out again, many think it's a sign of change. They think he has realized his mistake, that the relationship is getting back on track, and so they rush to open their hearts again, easily letting him back in. But have you ever asked yourself, what has he done to deserve that chance? A man who leaves and comes back, if it's not because of genuine effort and feelings, what has changed in him? In reality, if he can come back without paying any price, simply picking up where he left off without learning or changing, has he really learned a lesson from this loss? The important thing is not that he comes back, but how he comes back. Have you noticed? Is he just probing, sending vague texts, enough to see if you still care? Or is he coming back with a clear goal, specific actions, a true commitment to continue? A man who truly values you won't just reach out with a few vague messages at odd hours. He will take the initiative to plan, be serious, and clear in every word and action. Because when a man realizes he's losing something truly precious, he won't let that loss happen again. And if he only sends small, probing messages to keep you in a state of uncertainty, then you have your answer. A man who truly loves you won't play games. He won't make you doubt. And if he does, then unfortunately, he's not the one you need. In the world of love, every woman experiences a moment like this. You meet a man, everything goes smoothly. There's attraction, attention, and constant calls and texts. You feel desired, pursued. But then, as if it's part of a program process, things start to change. The texts become less frequent, the calls are sparse, and maybe he starts creating distance, leaving you wondering what you did wrong, what's happening. And at this point, most women panic. They begin to worry, overthink, and rush to chase him, trying to figure out why things are this way. Pay close attention. When a man realizes you're no longer waiting for him, this doesn't happen with loud gestures or drama, but with very subtle, unconscious signals. He may start texting more, explaining himself more, trying to prove his worth, as if trying to bring the relationship back to what it once was. But the problem is, the moment you start chasing him, you've changed everything. You're no longer the one being pursued, but the one trying to gain his attention. And when men sense this shift, your value in their eyes is no longer the same. Men are wired to pursue, to be attracted to things that are hard to attain, things that require effort. They don't like games, but they understand that effort brings value. When everything comes too easily, with no challenge or risk, it loses its appeal. That's just human instinct. I'm not saying you should act distant or play the hard-to-get game. What I mean is that you need to become hard to obtain in the right way. Being hard to get isn't about pretending to be busy when you're doing nothing or avoiding replying when you really want to. That's just a game. Being hard to get means living a full, rich, and exciting life to the point where a man has to work to find a place in it. It's when you know your worth so well that you don't need to chase after anyone. The right man will naturally know how to step up and prove himself. And this is where you must truly master yourself. When he starts to pull away, the best thing you can do is nothing at all. Not because you want to punish him or manipulate him, but because your energy is too valuable to waste on someone who's unwilling to commit. Instead of chasing after him, you take a step back. Instead of seeking validation from him, you stand firm in your own confidence. And that energy, when you stand strong in your self-worth, will create an irresistible attraction. Imagine this. When he steps back and you no longer rush, what do you think will happen? He will feel your absence. And instead of being sure you'll always be there waiting, he'll start wondering, where is she? Why hasn't she reached out? Has she lost interest? And it's that curiosity, that doubt, that will bring him back, not your words or efforts. Because men don't fall in love with women they feel they've already won. They fall for women they feel they might lose. Perhaps many women will ask, but what if he forgets me? What if he finds someone else? And here's something that may sting a little. If a man can forget you that easily, then does he truly deserve your time and attention? When a man can walk away without making any effort to come back to you, what do you really have? Because a man who truly wants you will feel your absence. He will recognize your worth. And if he doesn't, he never was the right one for you in the first place. The right man doesn't need to be pursued. He won't let the space between you two become a prolonged silence. If he doesn't actively move toward you, don't lower yourself to chase after him. Raise your value, stand firm in your confidence, until he has no choice but to step up to keep pace with you, or he will remain where he belongs. And after all the silences, after all that quiet space, he will eventually come back. Maybe with a simple greeting like, "How have you been?" Or perhaps with a nostalgic remark, "I've just been thinking about you." He might even act as though nothing ever happened, as if he never disappeared from your life. And now, you're at a crossroads. You hold an opportunity in your hands, but the question is, how will you handle it? Most women tend to make one of two mistakes. First, they react too quickly, too eagerly, as if they've been waiting for this moment for a long time. They let the relief of him coming back overwhelm them, glad that he returned, and before they realize it, they slip right back into the relationship as it was before, texting, calling, giving him the same energy without questioning whether he truly deserves that attention again. Second, they fall into the opposite extreme, angry, responding with bitterness, trying to make him feel the silence he left. But this doesn't work because both approaches show him that he can disappear and come back whenever he wants, or that he still holds power over your emotions. A man who understands that he can trigger your emotions, whether excitement or frustration, will still feel that he has control over you. The most powerful response you can give is not to control him, but to control yourself. When you reply, do so from a place of calm, from confidence, from the attitude of, "I'm fine whether you're here or not." You don't rush. You don't drop everything just because he's reappeared. Instead, you acknowledge his presence, but you don't overextend yourself. Remember, men can feel when a woman is in her power. They can tell when you're living your life, when you've found joy and fulfillment. And that's what makes you naturally magnetic. When you no longer depend on his presence to feel happy, that's when he will realize that he must make an effort if he wants a place in your life. Because men don't value what's easily attainable. They only appreciate what they have to fight for. But this doesn't mean playing games or waiting 3 days just to confuse him. It means responding honestly, reflecting the reality of your life. If you're busy, you'll reply when you truly have time. If you're with friends, you won't interrupt your evening to text him. And if he wants to meet you, you won't drop everything just to meet his last-minute plans. A woman who respects herself will set standards, and if he truly cares, he won't hesitate to meet those standards. We all know that some men only reach out to test whether they can still do it. Not because they've had any profound realization, but simply because they're testing the limits. How you respond in those moments is what matters. If you become too easy, too lenient, quickly returning to old habits, he will know that he doesn't need to do much. But if you maintain your stance, if you respond with warmth but not neediness, with care but not overinvestment, that's when he will realize something. He will realize that you're no longer the girl he can just check in with occasionally. You're no longer waiting around, and if he truly wants you, he will have to show it in a different way. This is when change begins. This is when he has to decide, step up or step away. And no matter what decision he makes, you still win. Because when you face his return with confidence, calmness, and self-respect, you are sending a clear message. You don't have to say a word, but he will understand that access to you is not a given. It is a privilege. When a man returns after silence, he's not just looking for a simple response. He wants to know what you think of him, to see if the door is still open, if he still holds any power over you. This is where many women make a mistake, thinking that just because he reached out again, everything is back on track. But the truth is, a man coming back is not a victory. The real victory lies in what he does after he returns. When a man comes back after a period of silence, the question isn't whether he's rushing to rekindle the relationship or just keeping things superficial. The issue is whether he's truly acting to show care, putting in the effort to prove he's worthy. Don't let sweet words like, "I miss you," or "I've realized your value" blind you. Words are easy, but actions are the true measure of a man. Pay attention to his consistency, because it's persistence that will reveal his true intentions. Many women, upon receiving contact from a man after a period of silence, fall into a euphoric state, thinking that he has changed, that everything will be fixed, and that what they've longed for is finally within reach. They start texting every day, opening up, ready to meet all his needs. But what they don't realize is that if he hasn't put in the effort to win your affection back, then it's just a lesson he hasn't learned. A man doesn't commit because you're easily available. He commits because you demand it, not through commands or pressure, but simply by setting standards for what you will and won't accept. If he left you before, does he truly do anything different now that he's back? Does he apologize? Does he acknowledge the distance and try to fix it? If he simply comes back without any real effort, then he's not a man who has changed. He's just testing whether he can regain control over you. In those moments, the most important thing you can do is observe. Not with desperation, not with expectation, but with awareness. Don't rejoice when he returns. Watch his actions, because only actions speak the truth. Don't let sweet words cover up what he's done before. Men only value what they have to work to get, what they fear losing. And when you show him that your life doesn't revolve around his return, that you're fine, you're happy without his presence, that's when he'll realize something. He'll realize that if he truly wants you, he'll have to change his approach. He'll have to put in more effort. If not, then you already have your answer. Because a man who truly wants to be in your life won't just come back. He'll stay. The question isn't whether he'll come back, but what you'll do when he does. When he comes back, it's not to show real affection or change. He's just checking to see if you're still his, if he still has control. He wants to know if he can return without putting in any effort. And this is where many women make a big mistake. They think that if they show him they still care, if they bring up old memories, he'll stay this time. But in reality, Men don't stay because of what you bring to them, but because they fear losing something valuable. This is human nature. We only truly appreciate what isn't easily obtained, what we have to work for, what challenges us and forces us to try to keep. So when he comes back, the most important thing you can do is not fall back into old habits, not rush to make everything go back to how it was before, not give him the feeling that no matter what, you will always be waiting. Because when he feels that certainty that you'll always be there with nothing to worry about, the race ends. And when the race ends, the effort stops. Men are inherently attracted to challenges, not games, not manipulation, but real challenges. And the greatest challenge a woman can present is self-respect. The ability to say, I care about you, but I care more about myself. The ability to let him come back, but not on his terms, but on yours. The ability to say, you left, and now you have to prove why you deserve to come back. A man who truly wants to be with you will have no trouble proving it. He won't just send a few messages. He will take action. He won't just say he misses you. He will make time for you. He won't just check in when it's convenient. He will be consistent. But a man who only wants to test whether he still has access to you will keep things casual. He will send mixed signals. He'll say just enough to keep you in the game, but not enough to actually move things forward. This is when you need to be strong. You need to trust yourself and know that you won't settle for half-hearted efforts. You won't accept inconsistency. You won't accept someone who only shows up when it's convenient for them. Because if he truly valued you, he wouldn't risk losing you again. And if he's willing to do that, then you already have your answer. Because a man who is truly for you won't just come back. He'll come back the right way. And anything less than that doesn't deserve your time. Well, we've just explored a valuable lesson about relationships and how we must stand firm in our own worth, even when faced with silence and uncertainty from others. Remember, silence isn't always a sign of an end. Sometimes, it's an opportunity for you to affirm yourself and for the other person to recognize your true value. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. We truly appreciate your support and thoughts. If you have a story you'd like to share, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We're always ready to listen and share with you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on inspiring content in the upcoming videos. We always aim to create content that helps you overcome challenges and live more fully every day. Let's continue to share and grow together.